Welcome to this edition of the SAP Business by Design Supply Chain Training. So, on this edition, we are going to continue with working with the purchase order. So, on this edition, we are going to cover how to convert a purchase request for material to a purchase order for material. And in the next episode, we're going to see how to create a fresh or a new purchase request for both material and service. All right, so let's tag along. Let's go ahead and enter straight to the demo. So I'm logging into the system, and to continue from where we stopped, we need to navigate to the purchase request and order in order to proceed with uh, where we stopped. So in the purchase request and order work center, let's go to the purchase request to see the purchase request for material that has been created before. So I'm going to all purchase request. And from here, I have three items, HV01, HV002, HV003. So all are grouped in the same purchase request, but the line items are different. So because of the fact that it's the same supplier that is going to deliver this, then that's why they are all in the same category. Okay, so for us to create a purchase order, we can highlight all these all the items, and click new purchase order. So the system is going to copy all the information from the purchase request to the order. So here you can see all the informations are being copied, and you can save, or I can just click close. No. So I want to show you another way. So if I uncheck all the purchase request, I can click the purchase order, new purchase order, and the system is going to pick just that one item, and it's going to order for that item, for that particular item. But if you want to bundle all the order, you can just click on all the requests and order for them. So you can also perform a quick sourcing request. So if the pricing information, you are not comfortable with the pricing information, you can use the sourcing request to source for prices from other vendors or suppliers. You can also assign source of supply, although there is a source of supply that was assigned. Then another thing you can do is to bundle and order by uh, just the same thing we did with the just the same thing we did when we selected the three orders. So the system can do this and bundle the request and order them accordingly. Okay, I'm just going to close this. Then another thing you can do is to make a quick order. So you can just click to create a quick order for any of the items. So and the system will automatically create the order and send. But we're not doing that. So I'm highlighting all the orders, and I'm just going to bundle and say by supplier. So while using the bundle and order, I can just click on the order to order for the item, or I can remove the purchase order and do some other information. So I'm bundling and ordering based on this supplier. So let's do this. I'm just going to click on new purchase order. Okay, so these are all the orders. I like to use the view all button. So from this order, we have some items. It's just the same view what we covered in the previous episode where we analyzed the purchase order. The only difference here is now we are stocking all these items. So we are putting all these items in stock. So you can see in the previous episode, I had to set the service location for the service. But in this episode, you can see the system automatically uh, has prompted me to has entered the ship to location, because while creating the purchase request, the system first first forced me to enter the ship to location. So from the ship to location on the purchase request, the system automatically picked this information. So you can see all the pricing information also has been copied. So for the basic data, um, it is important that you understand that the system is going to require for the goods and services which is expected. So automatically you can see that it's grayed out because this is an item that is going to be stocked. So you need to confirm the delivery for this item. Then if this item you are expecting an invoice from the supplier after delivery, then you need to check this box. So the follow-up document is very, very important. So if you as at the base document, at the time you are creating the base document, so the base document is actually the document that you generated this document from. So the base document is the previous document, while the target document is the next document. So the next document to a purchase order is actually a delivery document. And after delivery, you have an invoice. So the target document can also be an invoice. So it depends on uh, the way you want to treat the delivery or your target document or your base document. So here we can also schedule the delivery for some of these items. So for the first item, I'm going to set the delivery schedule to 2 days. Okay, I'm going to say the first day they can deliver 7, or the next date they can deliver 3. Okay, and I'm going to set the date of that delivery. So 30th. Okay. All right, so you can also see the price information for the item. So these are the price information, the tax, the delivery date information. So you can confirm the ship to location, the site location, the ship from location, which is the ship from is actually from the supplier. Then other address information. These are the address information of the company, which is our maker. Then we can set the source of supply. So the source of supply is actually the supplier information. You can also assign another source of supply. Then you can also see that this item is actually a product of a contract that binds the buyer and the seller. Okay, so we have planning information. If this document is a product of MRP, then we have the document of flow. So the origin of this information is from the purchasing contract, then a request for a purchase request, and the request actually generated the order we are working on currently. So if this order is subjected to approval, then you can see the approval information, the person who is responsible for the approval. Then we also have notes. So you can add notes just like we saw in the previous episode. And you can also add attachments by clicking on the attachment information, or you can add link to add a URL. Okay, so I'm going to click on the check to see if we have any error. So you can see we only have some warnings here that the target quantity exceed the contract information. So yeah, we're fine with it. Okay, so I can save this order and maybe uh, make some adjustments on them before sending it to the supplier. So the purchase order is created, the order is created already, but it has not been sent. So if you want to send it to the supplier, you need to click on the order button. And once you click on the order button, the order information is going to be sent to the supplier automatically. So if there is an email configuration or probably an Outlook configuration that was set up, so automatically the system is going to configure the templates. You can see from this preview, so we can preview this template, and from whatever preview that is generated in PDF from this order, it's going to be sent to the supplier. So this is a sample of the template. This is the order information. This is the item, the quantity. You can see the delivery schedule date. So three for the first item, 7 is going to be delivered on this date. Then 3 is going to be delivered on the second date. And you can see other information. So if you want to customize, if you want to learn how to customize your form templates, there's a YouTube session that where we cover the template customization. So you can use that YouTube session to learn about how to customize your form templates. Okay, I'm going to close this, and finally I'm going to click on order, and this order is going to be sent to the supplier. So after the order is sent, by clicking the order button, the system is going to perform what we call critical checking to confirm if the order is subjected to approval, and there are different approval configuration in the system. So there are purchase order approval for budgeting, purchase order for approval for project, and there are strategic purchase order approval configuration that we have in the system. So based on this configuration, the system is going to do the check, and if uh, the configuration, the requirement for those approval configuration is met, then the order is going to be sent to the relevant approval authorities, those who are responsible for completing the approval. So let's confirm the status of our purchase order. So if we go back to the order, the purchase order report, we can see that we have some status here, like those purchase order that are in approval. So the recent purchase order we created is actually the one that's needed to be approved. Then we have other purchase order that has been sent. Some purchase order actually they require a follow-up document, probably an acknowledgement document. Then some purchase orders are also finished. You can see the status. So any purchase order that is finished, that means the purchase order has manually or the delivery status has been completed. All right. So let's look at the recent purchase order we created. So I'm clicking on the order ID. So in the order ID, we can see there is nothing much that is there. So only the materials that we requested. So these are the list of all the materials that we requested. These are the net value of those materials. So we can click on the viewer button to see other informations that is relating to the order, like the general information, the item, each item, basic data, and other information. So if you make any changes on this order, you will not be able to send it to the supplier because the status is still in approval. So if we look at the approval status, you can see we have this user as the approver. So you can click to see the employee organization chart. So this is the organization chart for the employee. So it's actually a chief financial officer. Okay, so I'm going to close this. So we're going to log out and log in as um, the employee who is responsible for the approval. So I'm going to log out. So I'm going to log in as the finance. So here we're logged in as the CFO, and to complete the approval, we need to use the manage my approval manage my area and approvals. Okay, so these are the three items that needs to be approved. So I'm going to select each of them and approve them accordingly. Okay, so the first item is approved, and I'm going to approve the second item. So you can see the status of this approval. The first one item is approved and is completed. The second is approved and completed, while the third is also going to be approved and completed. Okay, so it's actually now completed. So the main reason why the system triggered the approval process is because from the purchase contract that was binding the supplier and the buyer, which in this case is the company. uh, the quantity that was agreed was actually a quantity, one quantity for those specific price. So anytime the quantity is above the agreed or the agreed quantity based on the contract, then the system will automatically trigger an approval for it, and which is why it the system actually triggered an approval because the purchase contract actually is subjected to approval as well. So based on this, the system tracks the items that are subjected to contract based on approval, and it treat those kind of approval as a budget. All right. So let's log out and continue with the training. Logging in back as the administrator as usual. Purchase order. So the purchase order approval first stage is completed, and it doesn't mean the order is finally approved because the first stage is for the CFO to approve the materials. So there are three materials which we've done the approval, but the main document, the main purchase order document, is still pending for approval. So let's see what happens to the order. So if we log in back to the system and we scroll to the purchase request and order work center, and we click on the purchase orders, the purchase order document is still going to uh, be in, is still going to have the status of in approval. So if I click the execute the query, so you can see we still have the status of the purchase order as in approval. So we need to perform the final approval stage, and also the same account we used to log in is what we're going to use. So if we need to edit the order further, we can do that. Although if the document is still in approval, um, there are not much changes that we can do here. There are not much changes that we can do. So I'm going to close and log out as the administrator once again. And we're going to log back in as the user, the CFO. Okay. Okay. So if we go to manage my area approvals, so you can see now we have the document approval. So it's different from the way the approval process was showing initially. So the approval stages were showing the materials, but this is now showing the document. So I'm logging in as the administrator. So if we navigate back to the work center, the purchase request and orders work center, and the purchase order, the order should now be sent. The status of the order should now be sent. So if I click on all purchase order and execute the query, so now the status of the contract, I mean the order is now sent. So see. So if I click on the order status, order ID, click the view all. Now, if you make any changes on this order, you need to send the update. So if you send any update for this order, the system is still going to trigger another approval. So, and the approval stages is going to be configured accordingly until the supplier delivered the product. All right, so this will mean the end of this episode. If this episode has helped you or improved your skill in any way, please like and share the video. We also would appreciate if you can subscribe to our YouTube channel. This will enable us to, you know, create more videos that are relevant to building your skills in SAP. And also, we appreciate you watching our videos and being part of the SAP Supply Chain Business by Design training so far. Thank you for watching and see you in the next episode. Bye for now.